Guys, Showtime Shredded Fitness over here. Size, growth, whoosh, get big. Alright, so the story behind the whole Showtime thing, okay? So sometimes people don't understand the whole deal, right? So Jack, he started 108 pounds, right? Started out wrestling and playing football and all these other things. So here's the deal: if you start out, I was the worst of the worst, right? So Jack was, okay? He started out the least coordinated, the smallest, one of the smallest and most horrifically coordinated athlete in sports history, okay? Slow, no talent, but he worked hard, okay? So he outworked almost everybody, okay? Controversially, some coaches might say he outworked everybody around him. So that's going to be a tough call because there were some hard workers out there, right? Especially once he got into college. But it's key, okay? Because hard work can beat out talent a lot of times when talent doesn't work hard, right? So he was able to get to be the point where he was, average or above average. Same thing with his grades, 3.5 to 3.8 all the time, 3.9 in junior high, 3.5 to 3.8 in high school. Okay, so Scholar Athlete Award and 9 letters in a varsity sport, all kinds of awards, no steroids. Okay, and then military, then got into bodybuilding, powerlifting, strongman, became average to a little above average in those sports, right? Especially average to a little above average in bodybuilding, and then he did the Oregon, and he won the overall, and then when he showed up at the Washington State, that's when Showtime was there. Showtime showed up, okay? Showtime was created. He's been around ever since, and people are like, how can that be, right? The same person. No, not always, okay? A lot of times you're going to think it's the same guy, right? Look the same, talk the same, act the same, walk the same, all that stuff most of the time, right? And so because of that, you can think they're exactly the same. And a lot of times they are very similar, okay? Sometimes you can think it's the same, they're twin brothers, right? But then other times it's way different, okay? There's times where, see, Jack's back to 108 pounds, so he ain't gonna be going up against those 200 and 300 plus pound guys, right? Especially now he's getting older, right? And so, like, good way to explain it is, right, that there was Brian, and he would go and he would play football, right? And we would, but then when he would step on the football field, the helmet came on, he was the boss, okay? So, but they were two completely different people. Hulk Hogan, he was always, everybody knows who Hulk Hogan is. Nobody knows who Terry is. I think didn't even know about Terry until like a year or two ago, right? They're two different people. And people go, athletes understand that. Civilians don't. So you get people talking shit. They'll be like, oh, you got multiple personalities. It's like, no, multiple personalities is 3 or more. 2 doesn't count. So, it is what it is. And so that's kind of what I wanted to explain with people. Like, they get confused on, who Showtime is, who Jack is. Well, Jack's this fucking family man, right? Showtime is the athlete. Showtime's the bodybuilder. Showtime's the real life superhero. Jack is, he's the family guy. I couldn't put up with that shit, right? So Jack comes home, and he's got a screaming wife from I love the lady, but she's crazy, right? Crazy Latina. She's throwing everything at Jack in the house, from shoes to freaking dishes to remote controls, toys, all of the Cliff and John Pierce toys and everything, right? All the toys and everything else, and freaking a knife one time, a steak knife, butcher knife, right? It was sliced one time. She did to him and stuff, and so. But Jack puts up a lot of shit, right? But see, Showtime, he doesn't mess with that shit, right? He would put up with it. So, and then once in a while, Showtime does hang around, and she tries to pull that shit with him, and he blows up and smashes everything in the house, and of course she's pissed off. So it's so a lot of times, Showtime doesn't hang around. Okay, so That's the difference. It's, Jack's better at the family stuff, Showtime's better at the sports stuff, right? You got to be able to flip, wherever you go, at a moment's notice. And so the switch back and forth, from one person to the next. And the only thing that I can't do yet is teleport, right? I've had dreams about it. I've been able to, go and do seminars, but then Jack could go up and do the seminar, and Showtime's the audience watching, taking notes, right? And then vice versa, things like that. I've had dreams about that, so it's en route, but it's advanced. I haven't heard of anybody else who's been able to do it. So if I figure out how to do that and actually can teleport and things like that, the only problem is, going to a different body, or how do you create with your own mind another person entirely? And so, so far, get both stare at the same space. So if I ever is able to teleport, it might be into another human body, and that would be weird. So, as far as now, the teleporting's out, because I haven't figured out how to properly do that yet. But I do have that connection with the spirit world and all that stuff, and so sometimes Showtime, especially if I'm going, several hours without sleep, so Showtime can take a nap, and then Jack can do the work, and then when Jack needs a break and is settled down, stressed out, whatever, then Showtime can take the helm. They can kind of switch back and forth that way. That's why I can get away with like 1 to 3 hours of sleep for several days a week. How can you go without sleep? Well, it's 2 people, plus I had a military experience where, I'm used to going a long time with no sleep either. So now it's even easier because I got 2 people, to share the load. So it's not, one person can rest their mind, the other person can have the mind activated. So it kind of helps that way too, faster recovery and all that stuff. So. Alright, it's been Showtime. Showtime Shred Fitness over here. Size, growth, whoosh. Get big. Alright.